What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ari here with Korea. We're back. We're sweating a nerfy game just started. Tigers, Guardians. Something happened.
Oh, yeah. It was a little bit of a deep fly, but the
Deep.
fly out stayed in the park, got to that right fielder. It was a little bit of a golf swing, first out in Cleveland. It was a little bit of a sweat there, but yes, as Ari mentioned, we are sweating the nerfy here between the Tigers and the Guardians. The final game of the series, I believe, between these two in Cleveland. One out already here. First off, Ari, obviously happy Thursday, July 25th here. Obviously, we're getting closer to the beginning of August. As we mentioned yesterday, we're going to be diving more, into the NFL season potentially. Looking at some season futures and looking at the NFL season alongside college football. Obviously, just less than a month away from the week zero kickoff, as well as week one as well, inching closer. But obviously, we got to do a recap of how we did yesterday. And for me, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to talk about either one, honestly. The Padres Nationals first five under. That could have not been more of the opposite. The Padres scored 11. That's all I have to say. Mitchell Parker, thanks for showing up, buddy. Thanks for showing up and doing absolutely nothing. You did absolutely nothing. You threw turkey saucers, and the Padres were just absolutely raking. I thought it was a home run derby, just allowing runs throughout the whole entire first five. It was an absolute disaster. And then speaking of disaster, the Royals were up in the bottom of the eighth. Top of the ninth comes, oh, brother, the Royals bullpen collapses. D-backs get, I think, 5 in that top of the ninth. They take the 8-4 lead heading into the bottom of the ninth. Royals lose outright. Just absolute disastrous day on the card for me. 0-2 day. Ari, we're moving on from yesterday. I know the Padres Nationals. Well, we're not going to talk about that one. How else did you do, though?
Yeah, one in one day. Obviously, the Padres Nationals was maybe the worst first five under in the history of sports betting. So that was over basically before it started, like in the top of the second, I think. I got the win with the Blue Jays first five. It was a sweaty. It was 2-1. It was 2-0, but the top of the was it a hit or?
No, he walked Colt Keith after being up 1-2 on the count. So now we have one on, one out. I forgot who's at the plate now for the Tigers, but I don't know this Tigers lineup, man. I don't follow Tigers baseball at all.
Like McKinstry or something?
Oh, God, I don't know who it is, but 0-1 count here. Swung through the first pitch. Come on, Gavin. Gavin was just having trouble finding that strike zone. But I'll let you continue about the Blue Jays, though. How'd they do yesterday?
Yeah, they won 2-1 the first five, so that was a win. It was 2-0, and then the Rays scored one on top of the fifth. And so made it a little bit sweaty, but still, Yariel did his job. Blue Jays didn't. I wasn't expecting to score a ton of runs, but they did enough to get the first five ML win. So 1-1 day. So 1-3, or 1-3 for us combined. So not the best, but we were positive the day before, and we'll look to bounce back today, even though we both only have one play because it's not the best play overall, but still winners to be found, obviously.
Yeah, remember that nobody that I was just talking about just got a single. So now they got runners at first and second, and Riley Green's at the plate now. So things are now getting a little dicey here. But yeah, you mentioned yesterday just Padres Nationals. That could have not gone any worse for us. You mentioned Mitchell Parker was throwing turkey toss. You thought it was the home run derby. Padres just allowed. Padres just scored early. You mentioned it was over by the second inning. But obviously, luckily, the Blue Jays got a win yesterday for you, especially with that first five money line. I was on the Blue Jays as well. I liked that play for us. You mentioned just with the Jays, just taking that team at home in that spot, and it was a good play for us. So I do love that, the fact that we got one win. Obviously one is better than none. Obviously we'll take anything, especially after a disastrous and for my card, unfortunately 0-2 day, but obviously 1-1 day for Ari makes that a 1-3 day. So obviously today a little bit of a light card. Obviously a few games have already started. Obviously we have the Nerfy live right now in Detroit. Oh, there we go. Strike 3 goes to Riley Green. So 2 outs now. in the top of the first for the Detroit Tigers. They still got 2 men on. But I'm going to go with my one and only play today. Only 8 games on the card today. And we're going to go to the final game between the Dodgers and Giants. And we're taking the Giants first 5 plus half a run here. I found it about minus 135 on DraftKings. And I love this value because you're back in Logan Webb, first off. And even though it's not at home, you're back in Logan Webb against a team that he knows how to dominate against pretty much, essentially. And even though I don't really, you don't really fade this guy, but you fade the spot. It's Clayton Kershaw making his, I think, what is it, his debut for the season? Or because he's been out for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, I think it's his season. It's either his first or second start, but I think it's his first. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, to say the least, it's definitely been a while for Clayton Kershaw. And like I said, I don't like him in the spot. We always talk about how the Giants do better against lefties here. And, I'm just taking the Giants just to not be really down by more than 1 run. Obviously, I'm not really sure how this, game goes throughout the first 5, just because obviously, it's Logan Webb, even though he's at Dodger Stadium. I just love backing Logan Webb against a team that obviously he knows pretty well. And obviously not at Coors Field, a very hitter-friendly ballpark. And then obviously on the other side, Clayton Kershaw. I don't like fading Kershaw, I'm more of just fading the spot. This is his first start in a very long time. And, the Giants, as I said, they hit lefties pretty well. Kershaw, obviously he knows this Giants team very well. They know him very well. And it may be different hitters, but, the organization knows him very well. And as well as, some of the guys who have still been in there, obviously, some key hitters as well, especially from last year, guys like, Lamonte Wade and stuff like that. I think the Giants, who have been pretty competitive, I'd say this whole entire series with the Dodgers, I think they come out here and, be competitive one more time, not be down by more than 1 run here. I'm thinking the Giants maybe even have a lead, but I don't want to have to back, Logan Webb to have a lead through 5. I don't know how the Giants, in terms of how their offense does through 5 with Kershaw, they could stink up the joint and they could, get a couple runs there. And then on this side, I'm just more backing that Logan Webb, doesn't do too much damage, even though he's on the road against a team that he knows how to pitch it well. So we're mostly just kind of backing both pitchers in a sense, in a way, you're kind of backing, we're backing Clayton Kershaw, but we're backing the spot here, just for oh, I thought that was going fair for a second. We're more back in the spot here. It's been a long time since Clayton Kershaw has seen the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I like the Giants in this spot here just to keep this series competitive one more time through 5 here, not having to worry about the bullpens or anything, targeting both pitchers here. So I love this play, Giants first 5 plus half a run here at minus 135. My one and only play on this short slate on Thursday. But Ari, what have you cooked up on this Thursday?
Yeah, so got out of it.
Yes, he did. Ground out right to Josh Naylor. There we go. Got out of the jam. Now we head to the bottom half with Tyler Holton, people. If you don't know who that is, well, I'll let you know. He did pitch against this team 2 days ago, and he got 1 2/3, 1 hit, 2 Ks. All we need is 3 outs. But Ari, I'll let you get into the Mets today.
Yeah, I'm going with the Mets. It's a rare fade of Chris Sale, and it's mostly because of the weird kind of scheduling spot where he was supposed to pitch, I want to say 2 days ago on Wednesday. Then that game got rained out, so he got pushed to game 2 yesterday. They play game 1, game 2 gets rained out, so now he's pitching today. So it's 2 days after he was originally scheduled to pitch. And, the thing with pitchers is they're obviously, a lot of them are about routine and pitching, every 4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. So when you're off your routine, they can kind of mess you up. So when you pair that with the Braves offense lineup just kind of being in shambles right now, and just just the team, I want to say, is just, they're not the same Braves team right now that we're used to. Obviously, they are banged up, but like we've been saying, even before they were banged up, they were kind of off to a slow start to the season. So I think you would think, I guess you would think Chris Sale would be more than the pick 'em against the Mets with how dominant he's been this season. So it's kind of a line play as well, which I'm not like I don't really bet all on lines, but in this case, it's just that's just one factor. With Sale pitching, not on his normal routine, and then the Mets have actually, I think the Mets have like the best record in MLB in the last I don't know the exact date since, but the last few weeks or last month, the Mets have been one of the hotter teams in the league. Braves have been scuffling, so it's kind of all those factors put together. landing me on the Mets as my only play, on this short slate where I think there's only 5 games I think that haven't started yet. So, yeah, I like the Mets today.
Yeah, I was looking at the Mets as well. You mentioned, one, the fact that this game is pretty much a pick 'em. You mentioned the fact that, with this weird spot, you mentioned the first game, obviously, between the Reds and Braves, that was supposed to be Chris Sale, but then that game got delayed. Or no, that game got postponed outright, and then he was supposed to start in game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, which that got postponed. So now he's got pushed to today, obviously, against the Mets. And obviously, even though I know a lot of people are looking at this nerfy because it's Chris Sale and Luis Severino, both good pitchers in this spot. Obviously, Chris Sale, obviously a better pitcher, and this year compared to what he's been in the past few years. I mean, Luis Severino, the same thing. You can say the same thing about Luis Severino, you mentioned the Braves and how just offensively they've been in shambles against right-handed pitching as well. They really, really do miss Ronald Acuna, Michael Harris, some of their key bats, to really spark in the lineup. And when they don't have that, and now obviously Ozzy Albies as well, who fractured his wrist. So those are 3 key guys that they're missing in that lineup right now. And I don't really want to back the Braves offense at all when they're missing some of their best hitters. And you can blame it on you can even blame it beforehand when their offense was still struggling before that. But even when their offense did get a little rejuvenated for a little bit, I still don't like them in this full game spot here against the Mets. Obviously, I mean the Mets obviously they're coming back at home, and obviously they're really hot right now. Obviously winning back to back in the Bronx against the Yankees, now coming back home in Queens to face a division rival, obviously who they have a lot of history with. So I do like that spot for you, and I do like that play with the Mets tonight. There we go. Stephen Kwan flies out to left field. So 4 outs here, 2 more to go in the bottom of the first here. Thank you, Mr. Holton. I do like the Mets for you today. Obviously, you mentioned the line as well. Chris Sale. I'd say against the Mets, I'd say he's probably should be maybe closer to minus 150 or even higher. Just because of the history and how he dominates, but the fact that this game almost is a pick 'em, you mentioned you don't really like to line read, but in this case, I do like the fact that if it is almost a pick 'em, that maybe the line is saying that the Mets maybe have a great chance to pull off the upset per se, especially with how this team is really playing well right now. So I do like that play for you. Just the back in the Mets here. Obviously, you mentioned there's pretty much only 5 games left, and not a lot of value in all those other games. And the Angels and A's, I'm gonna pass this. I mean, hey, those 2 teams are hot right now. They won the series against the two former division leaders. But hey, what can I say? Oh, another ground out here. So 1 more out, hopefully in the bottom of the first here to get that nerfy. But
Jose Ramirez, right?
Yeah. Oh boy. This one's not gonna be easy, people. So hold your horses. But obviously, Ari's played the Mets. I love that play. Obviously, my play with the Giants. First 5 plus half a run, just backing Logan Webb to not do too much damage against the Dodgers on the road. And then, did not fading Clayton Kershaw, but kind of essentially fading him, but mostly more fading the spot. Also, I will say this is Jose Ramirez from the right side of the plate. So this is not Jose Ramirez from the left side. So this is it's a little bit of a positive here. But Giants first 5 plus half a run here, minus 135. I don't know if that value is going up or down right now. That's where I saw it at minus 135. I saw it there, and I think on DraftKings, I know that probably will go up and up more throughout the day, just because I know the Giants, are definitely a slight underdog today, full game underdog. You can find all of these plays, of course, on our Twitter below, AKP Sports Talk. We'll have our full video posted momentarily. Oh my good Lord, Jose Ramirez swung out of his bat. Jesus Lord. He literally swung and he just let go of the bat. He could have hit the catcher. Good Lord. But you know what? We're 1 out away here. We're 1 strike away here from a nerfy, hopefully. Jesus. Oh, good Lord. Jose Ramirez. But, okay, 1 strike away here from a nerfy. Sweating this one here. Come on, Holden. What are you throwing? You threw that in the grass. Man trying to throw off speed and hit the grass. Oh, good Lord. Come on. We've been cooking with these nerfy streams as well, so hopefully, what is this, our 3rd, 4th, hopefully?
Yeah, it's not one of those 2, yeah. I think it was
also 3-2 now.
It's also 1 week from yesterday is the trade deadline, so we'll have more. Obviously, we'll talk about that next week.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the trade deadline. I know a lot of names. Oh no. Oh no. No 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 no. Oh no, that's off the wall. Oh no. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Oh, I spoke way too soon.
How, was it at the top of the wall or the bottom? Did it hit the?
It was like in the middle of the wall. Like he couldn't. He was not gonna catch that. It went off.
Well, no, yeah, I mean how close it was to a home run.
It honestly looked a lot like more like a home run than I. Let me see. No, it wasn't. It was off more closer to the bottom of the wall.
Yeah.
He could have caught that, but bro, what was? And he crashed into him.
Wait, so it's a double though, right? Not a triple.
Yeah, just a double. Just a double.
I
So
guess
here comes David Fry now.
Oh, David Fry.
Yeah, David Fry's cleanup today for the Guardians. That was a great pitch over the middle. 0-1 count to David Fry. But yeah, you mentioned the trade deadline. Obviously, big names have been talked about. Vladimir Guerrero, Garrett Crochet. Plenty of big names have been mentioned for the trade deadline. We're gonna get into all of those big names. As we get throughout the later part of the week. All right, I see you smiling. What's going on over there?
I was just thinking. Let's hope. Wait, what's his name? Holton. Let's hope Holton can put the fries in the bag.
Yeah. He needs to put the fries in the bag, bro. You need to put those fries in the bag, bro. 1-2 count to David Fry here, but
put David Fry in the back.
Yeah, you mentioned, all the big names, potentially being moved. I saw Jonathan India, but I don't believe that. Oh, look at that. He put the fries in the bag. Strike 3 looking. Got him K. Got him the backwards K. That is a sweaty Nerfy, but hey, that's a Nerfy right there. Backwards K. Got him looking. Strike 3. 6 outs. Thank you guys so much for sweating that with us. We also want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Of course, we will be back tomorrow for another episode of AKP Sports Talk. That is Ari. I'm Korea. We will see you tomorrow. Win some money. Peace out, guys.